So let's have a look at News Hub tonight, talking about the minuscule mini dot budget.
Teeny tiny.
After some big promises, the new finance minister's first big test.
It's the mini budget, and it's the new chapter for a new government with economic responsibility at its core.
Mini.
I got to stop this for a second. The tweet I put out this morning said this.
This is very smooth.
Thanks, man. Here we go. Nicola Willis's mini budget today will focus on how she says Labor left the books. They had all the financial information via pre-fu before the election, but they have had to give ACT and New Zealand First more than they can afford. Now they're scrambling for a scapegoat. I went on to say National has started the gaslighting by talking about how Labor left the books using words like arsonists. It's a tactic to sell a narrative that will continue today in today's mini budgets. They're doing it because they cannot generate the revenue they need whilst giving tax cuts, that's a big part of it, and money to landlords to carry out the promises they have made and have had to give their coalition partners to get into power. Don't believe it. They knew exactly the state of the books thanks to pre-fu, and now they want you to look away and not hold them accountable for their miscalculations. So that was what I put out this morning. We'll keep going.
Indeed, ultimately, just a manila folder with 6 pages of press releases.
6 pages of press releases.
Pretty thin. Mm-hmm. Is there absolutely anything new that you're announcing today?
Yes, I'm announcing that an era of fiscal and economic mismanagement is over.
Right. The announcement is an era of fiscal management is over. Mismanagement is over. That's the announcement. That's the announcement. That's it.
Look, it's just a bunch of press releases. On that basis, come upstairs, I'll do a mini budget for you now.
Kiwis struggling with the cost of everything and hoping for more cash for Christmas will have to settle for a promise.
There is much work ahead to clean up the mess that Labor left us.
There you go.
But Kiwis should approach Christmas knowing better economic management has arrived and lower taxes are on the way.
Well, how about some details? How about some details about what Labor's done? Have you noticed every time they've said it, they haven't given any details? Like they haven't. They talk about financial cliffs, but they're just beating it up, talking about things that are funded to a point that they need to get refunded, which is common practice in government. So they're not giving any details, they're just using words.
She talked this up for weeks.
Yep.
And I just want to give a shout out to the reporter there that was going, are you fucking kidding me? I came in for this. I could have been at home with my kids. Fucking hell. Like, just the disdain that she had for that. This is a piss take. It is showboating, and it is setting up the narrative that the reason that they are not going to follow through with the shit that they've said isn't because they didn't do the sums ahead of time. It's because Labor fucked everything all up. Like, she's never seen their books. Like the what is it? The pre-fu?
Yeah, pre-fu.
Pre-fu? Like they never saw that. Like, oh, we had no idea what Labor were doing. Fuck off.
Yeah,
you knew exactly what they were doing.
Often
you were doing bumper stickers rather than math.
All right, let's keep going, shall we?
Liz has worked out how to cut and save more than $7 billion through culling some of Labor's projects like Let's Get Wellington Moving, 20 hours free childcare for 2-year-olds and half-price public transport, and spending cuts to the public service.
I reject austerity. We're actually doing the opposite. We're taking the responsible steps to protect frontline services.
Willis also got to show Kiwis the fiscal cliffs she's been warning about.
The value is $7.2 billion over the forecast period.
But most of those were already known, like needing money for the school lunches program and for Farmac.
School lunches? Gone.
Just because they are well known doesn't mean they're okay. I believe this represents a fiscally reckless approach.
Time-limited funding has been a very regular feature of budgets. I think she's tried to make accusations that don't stack up.
While there was a lot of talk of cliffs and financial time bombs, what was missing from the mini budget were the details of how she's going to pay for her mega tax cuts, or even who gets them first.
Who do you think deserves a tax cut first, landlords or Kiwi workers?
Kiwi workers.
Kiwi workers.
Kiwi workers, by far and away. Kiwi workers.
You guys must have forgot who you voted for then.
Because, of course. I'm not sure, honestly.
I'm a landlord. I think Kiwi workers.
No one is any the wiser today as to how National will pay for their tax cuts than they were yesterday.
It could be that tax cuts are partly funded by a crackdown on tax evaders.
I've been advised that this could contribute hundreds of millions of dollars.
Do you honestly think that this government, with the funders they have, are going to have to go after, let's be fair, some of those same funders to catch up with their tax? Do you honestly think this government is going to go after the wealthy people who use the tax system in that way? Honestly. Honestly?
Pat.
Yeah, I'm here.
You're looking too deeply into it, mate.
Sorry.
The
Is the
fact
vibe?
that shit can report that would point out what we can do with the tax to make it more effective and more equitable. The one that they just shit canned.
Yep.
Don't worry. Don't worry about it, man.
All
Don't
right.
worry about it, bro.
I'll stop worrying.
It's
I'll stop
fine.
worrying. I'll stop worrying. I'm not.
The names on that list are going to be completely different.
Yeah.
From the National Party donors list.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's
Not
no
worried
way.
about it. Yeah.
So we don't need the information. Remember, we're saving money by shit canning that report, even though it's already been done.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I assume the money that they're saving is on photocopier paper.
Yeah.
Because the report's already been done.
Yeah. Second-hand photocopier paper. Reliable stuff. It's probably where it is, Joey. Reliable second-hand
Fuck's sake.
photocopier paper.
Dollars to our bottom line.
That was a New Zealand First idea.
Can I ask you about tax evasion? Your plan for tax evasion?
But it was his evasion of a question about how tax cuts will be funded that saw Peters score an own goal.
The Minister of Finance has already found it. No.
Peters taking exception to being heckled from all sides across the House.
That sort of clownish cacophony of behaviour doesn't work.
But it was Willis who stole back the show, albeit unintentionally.
I don't
What
care
New
about
Zealanders
this.
care about is the size of the sausage, not how it's delivered. And how we will deliver it is...
I just, honestly, it's a really important day. There are a lot of people who are going to be impacted after today, and the amount of the media that have just picked up on this and think it's a bit of a giggle.
How big is his hole?
We all get it. She made a faux pas. Perhaps she did it on purpose to take some attention away. Some people are saying that. But I just, honestly, it's more important things happening today that are going to impact real New Zealanders than a stupid misword.
Does the size of the sausage matter?
Yeah, no, we're done with you guys. I'll play you one more. I'm going to play you one.
If I could put an analogy,
Yep.
I think, yeah, cool. Most Kiwis do care about how the sausage is delivered. I think a lot of Kiwis would be concerned about what the sausage is made of.
Yeah.
Like if we're going to use a sausage analogy, is it sawdust and homeless people? I can believe that's on the menu with these guys. Don't worry,
just
Soylent Green.
I just think this, right? You will not deviate me from this message. Every cent you give back in tax cuts, which I'm telling you now are going to be much smaller than they promised, and every cent you give to landlords is a cent that could be paying for under twos childcare, children using buses, could be paying for lunches in schools. So there was a question in that, which is I think maybe it was on the TV NZ item where they said, why are you prioritizing landlords over taxpayers? Because landlords are getting their money really quickly. The general folk are getting a tax cut perhaps in the future. The other thing that you will not get me away from is if the books are so bad, why are you reducing your revenue? Why aren't tax cuts gone already? Gone by lunchtime? Why is not the money to the landlords gone by? I cannot take you seriously if you say the books are in a shambles, have some money back. That is not a serious person. Those are not serious policies, Chewy.
No. Landlords are fine. You know why? Because no matter how long they hold on to their property and how long their tenants pay off their mortgage, interest rates might change a little, but you've still got someone living in your house paying off your investment for you. They are fine because they have untaxed capital gains at the end of it. That's why anybody ever does it. They don't need interest deductibility. They don't need it because of the untaxed capital gains that they get at the end. That the fact that someone else is paying for their investment is fucking mental.
I'm going to play you this. This is the TVNZ clip because remember what Mr. Luxon told us, that everything they were going to do was going to put downward pressure on rentals. I want to play you one. It's only like 60 seconds. One quick clip.
Landlords will benefit sooner with interest deductibility to kick back in on April the 1st.
Why are tax breaks for landlords more important than tax breaks for ordinary New Zealanders?
Well, I think tax breaks for ordinary New Zealanders are incredibly important.
Then why aren't you prioritising them?
Yeah,
see, when logic doesn't work?
I also think it's important that we look at the other cost pressures New Zealanders are facing, and rents have been a significant one.
I think it says everything about this government's priorities, that of the very few decisions that they've made in this half-yearly fiscal update, they're cutting funding for things like early childhood education, and they're giving tax breaks to mega landlords.
There's two people I want you to watch. They're coming up now. One is the landlord. You will never see a bigger smile on your face than you will get from this person hearing the news. And the second is the person who is in the investment property world, who says, carte blanche, rents will not go down.
Of course they won't. When have they ever gone down?
No. But this is a investment property person. This is someone that they're giving the tax cuts to. He doesn't have their back. He shows their workings. So that's the last bit I want to show you.
Amongst the cuts is a cost of $180 million by reducing the bright line test to 2 years rather than 10.
So there you go. Because of that policy, they are now adding more costs on. So they're actually reducing their revenue again by having to not get that bright line test sooner, but taking it away sooner. So they're even choosing to reduce their revenue.
Bring great relief next year when they finally announce
Look at the smile
of it, but until then we're just holding on hope that it will be brought back in quickly.
We probably won't see rent drops because that comes off, but it will tend to restrict the rate of increase.
We probably won't see rent drops. There you go. Showed their workings. It's over and done with. Anything you want to throw out there, Chewy? Any chats or anything?
I've said this fucking multiple times, right? If they were honest, if they were going to follow their word and make things better for more New Zealanders, they would look at the things that cost New Zealanders the most. They would look at the bank's profits. They would look at the supermarket profits. They would break up the supermarket duopoly. They would really put the shits up the people that are gouging both ends of our food network. They're gouging the producers and the consumers, and they're funneling their money overseas to Australia. Why both parties haven't decided to fucking WWF tag team these motherfuckers, I do not know. It's such a win for both sides. For everybody who enjoys food, we're going after the supermarkets. No, we can't do that. Can't do that. But suddenly our tax relief in the form of interest deductibility is somehow going to break a record for something that has never happened in the history of the property owning class, that they are going to reduce rents. Sorry, introduce downward pressure, whatever the fuck that means. Because we can't say it would reduce rents because we know they fucking won't.